Hey folks, how you guys doing today? This is Jimmy Roberts, your local real estate professional. And today we're going to do something a little different. Today I'm actually going to share some of my thoughts about how do I say some of the misconceptions about what it is to be a real estate professional and what that means for yourself and for your businesses. Now, why does this come up? Let's start there. Well, as you guys know, in one of my primary businesses is a real estate appraisal company. And one of the things that we often do, and we get them quite often, is we get requests by a lot of different people to train them to be appraisers. Because generally speaking, people think that, hey, I see what you do. All you go out to do is look at houses and all day and take a few photos and then you get paid. I can do that. Well, first off, their misconception is completely off, right? That's not all I do. As a matter of fact, that's about 10% of what we do as an appraisal company, but that's neither here nor there. One of the things I found consistently though, is that generally speaking, most people have absolutely no idea of what it takes to be a successful and long-lived professional in the real estate space. I'm not just talking about owning a real estate appraisal company. I'm talking about whether you are an agent, a broker, or an investor. Okay. And I'm sure some of the other services too, as well, such as title companies, etc. Being a real estate professional is by definition a real business. There's so many things that you need to have your hands in and on to be successful at this that we often forget about that. And people like myself come on channels just like YouTube, like I'm doing right now, and we make it seem easy, but it's not. It is not easy. Just appraising. I've been at appraising for over 20 years now. I have been in the real estate industry in some form or another for well over 30 years. That is as an investor, a landlord, because investing and landlording, in my opinion, are two different things, as a broker and as an appraiser. So I've seen a lot of different facets of it. And like I said, I've been in this for well over 30 years. And here's the funny part. Even with all that 30 years of experience, I still, to this day, I am still learning new stuff every day to try to make my business as smooth as possible. Because quite frankly, it's not. If I were to just allow things to go the way some people seem that they go, I'd been out of business years ago. Plain and simple. And again, this is not just me, Jimmy, the real estate appraiser, or Jimmy, the real estate broker, or Jimmy, the investor. This is everybody I know who's successful in this business. They work at it every day. They say even those people who are part-time, you know how many hours a week those people that are part-time put in? Every hour of the week, or every time that they're not doing whatever it is that they're doing to bring in their other forms of income, they're working on, or they're thinking about, or they're trying to figure out some way to optimize their real estate business. This is not something that you dabble in. Plain and simple. And again, I think the problem that talking heads like myself, we throw off the air that, that it's easy and that people can jump in and everybody can be successful. Well, while I want to believe that everybody has the capacity to be successful, I really do believe that. Not everybody should, because they just don't have the will. Plain and simple. Now, I know that sounds very different than most things that you usually hear coming from me, as I am usually the Pollyanna guy, right? I'm usually the one out here who's saying that, everybody can do this. It's simple. It's doable. And while I do believe that is any aspect of this business is doable. Let's face it, just because it's doable doesn't mean people are going to do it. That's just the way it is. Now, again, why does this come up? This comes up because over the last 6 months, I have been approached by 10 different people that have all requested that I either teach them some aspect of the real estate business. And guess how many people have actually followed through with what I said and what I suggested that they do? 0. Yep, 0. That was just within the last 6 months. This has been going on for years. And I finally come to the conclusion that the reason that is because not everybody needs to be in this industry, right? It takes a lot of hard work to be successful in this industry. And by the way, let's be clear, Here's what I mean by successful. I mean that you are generating enough income to support yourself and or your family and to keep your business going, right? So that at the end of the year or end of the day, you have a profit that you can do something else with, right? That is the goal. That's the only goal. And like I said, most people are not able to do that. They simply don't have the willpower because let's be frank, there are days when I literally feel like I get kicked in the teeth, right? But I still got to show up the next day and keep it moving. Why? Because this is my chosen profession and it's just a part of the profession. Since I am a real estate professional, and most real estate professionals out there can agree with this, we are independent contractors, right? Regardless of the corporate structure we set up around us, we're independent contractors for the most part, right? If you don't go out and do something, you got nothing, you got no income or business or leads or anything coming through the door. That means that you every day have to be motivated enough to keep grinding. And I'm not big on saying everybody's got to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. I'm not saying that, but you got to every day, you got to be doing something. And again, most people aren't willing to do that. It's much easier to punch into the corporate system and, do whatever you do, work as hard as you need to work and collect a check. That is a wonderful thing. As a real estate professional, that is never the case. I want to repeat that. As a real estate professional, that is never the case. You're never off the clock. You may not answer your phone sometimes, but you are always thinking about your business. You are always looking to improve your business. So I'm going to kind of bring this to an end here and put a bow on it. So long and the short of it is this. I do believe that everybody can be a successful real estate professional on whatever level they choose to be in. I do believe that. I sincerely believe that. That said, I am highly doubtful that many people will, because it's just simply too much freaking work. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. Am I off base or do you agree with me? Let me know. This is Jimmy Roberts, your local real estate professional. And I do mean professional. And I'm signing off. Catch you later.